Coming this fall, there is a hero that can take down foes, tackle every challenge, be the best. This hero is you? Hello and welcome to Press A to Learn, a show that's about to leave the comfort of a warm, toasty game and shuffle across all the way into your life. Let's face it, all we talk about in the show is video games. Games. But let's be real now, life can't all be fun games. School isn't a game, cleaning the house isn't a game, and if you beat your boss at work, you get fired. Well, I'm Matt, and today I want to show you how you can make everyday mundane tasks feel like you're playing a game. In this series, we've looked into the narrative in video games and touched upon the characters' influences in the story. Up to this point, we've dissected existing video game protagonists. However, today we're going to look into the most important hero of a story, you. What if I told you there's a way you could go to the gym, do your homework, complete tasks at your job, and have it so it doesn't feel like you're actually working, like it's some kind of game? Sounds amazing, right? Well, in this video, I want to introduce to you some concepts of how all this can be possible and how you can do these things to help you level up in life. When we play video games in which we control a character, there is almost always a choice in how you play as this person. Typically, when you play said game, you're trying to make the main character the best. If there's a quest or mission that boosts your character's stats higher, you'll take it. If there's an item or clothing that helps better your character's performance, you'll get it. If there's a potion that heals your character, you'll drink it. When your character's strength stat's too low and you can't defeat a certain enemy, you'll find ways to increase that stat, or find an alternate and innovative way to defeat said enemy. When you're low on health, you'll use all the items and mechanics around you to protect that character. When you need to locate an NPC to progress the mission, you'll interact with every person in the area until you find them. What I want to question in this video is, how much of what we do in games can be applied to bettering ourselves in the real world? Well, I'll show you. Now, before we jump into this, I'd like to introduce you to gamification. What is gamification? Gamification applies how games work to everyday non-gaming activities, making these activities more fun and engaging. Simply put, they make doing things like work, tasks, exercise, etc. more fun by structuring it to make it feel like you're playing a game. Imagine applying techniques used to keep players playing World of Warcraft for 20 plus hours a week and using it to make work fun, or learning fun, or improving your overall character stats. Wouldn't that be amazing? Whoa, wait a minute. Did I just say your overall character stats? You're not pixels on a screen. You're not just some piece of code in a game. All of this is true, and, well, if this isn't true, truly I'm worried about who's watching these videos. Anyway, you're all humans. You can't measure your emotions with a numerical value. Love isn't achieved by giving the right gift or pressing A to interact with them enough times. You can't pay respect by pressing X. These aren't traits of being a real-life human being with free will and emotions. This said, there are some aspects which you can draw parallels with the tools and mechanics used in games. Also, to show I'm not making this up, I'll give you an example of how I applied it to my life and how it changed me by challenging myself to, in a sense, level up. I hope by using a personal example, it shows you that it can be done and that it can be super effective. Now, I love playing video games, and part of these games was leveling up stats to my character to make him stronger. I could spend hours building up these stats, playing through the game, and feel mortified when I just sat on my chair without moving for like 3 or 4 hours. This is when I thought, hey, if I can make my character in the game do all this stuff to make him better, I wonder if I could do it to myself in real life. So I decided to take myself up on this challenge and start leveling up something that, at the time, I was a bit self-conscious about. My strength. Please note, although I picked physical strength myself, this doesn't necessarily mean you have to pick this feat for yourself. You may choose other physical traits, such as endurance, dexterity, or an entirely different trait altogether, such as intelligence, wisdom, charisma, and anything else you feel you would benefit improving. Strength was what I first challenged myself with, but it sure as hell wasn't my last. Anyway, at this point, I was an utter noob. I had no experience in strength building, and I needed a starting point. So what did I do? Well, with all low-level stat building, I started with low-level monsters. I wasn't a high enough level to jump straight into a gym. That area was scary, for me anyway, especially starting alone. So I fought low-level monsters. These consisted of what I could do in the safety of my room. In this case, push-ups, sit-ups, squats, and pull-ups with a pull-up bar that I had for some reason, which I can't remember where it came from. I also ran around the block too, which was sort of endurance rather than strength, but I did it anyway. Once I'd do the grind for the day, I'd get rewarded. This would typically be with any food that's delicious and healthy, and the truly awesome feeling of a good workout, and achieving my goals of that day. As I did these exercises, I found it fun trying to do more each week. I increased the amount of push-ups I'd do, I'd try doing pull-ups with a wider grip, I'd double the amount of laps around the block. Man, I was feeling good. But as the weeks went by, I found the challenge getting easier. I was leveling up. I wanted more enemies to face, so I hunted for more. To unlock the next set of enemies, however, I'd need to purchase some new items from the shop. In this case, I bought some shiny new dumbbells. This introduced more mechanics to the game, and I found myself tackling harder and more punishing movements. These were chest flies, dumbbell rows, shoulder raises and presses, and much more. Naturally, while doing all of this, I needed to research all the exercises and how to execute them. I essentially checked out YouTube playthroughs, i.e. basic bodyweight routines, dumbbell routines, and so on. As I got more confident and stronger, it was finally time to take on higher level monsters. It was time I entered the gym. Now thinking about it, I don't see why this is such a hard step. I later on found out that the gym's actually quite a friendly place, filled with people with the same goals. At the time, however, this was a huge step, and one I felt needing building up to. I built up slowly, first getting a week pass, then a month pass, and then finally a year pass, and I've went ever since. I keep challenging myself to fight harder and more difficult monsters, and I always feel as though my experience and level is always going up. The amazing thing is, the gym isn't the only thing I've applied this to. I've applied this to work, learning new skills, educating myself in new areas of knowledge, and anything else where I feel it works. And if you don't believe me, listen to this quote from the world's greatest nanny, Mary Poppins.
In every job that must be done, there is an element of fun. You find the fun, and snap! The job's a game.
Sure, it's not a documentary, it's a musical. However, the point is still there. Make any mundane task fun, and you'll instantly see results. In the book, 100 Ways to Motivate Yourself by Steve Chandler, number 42 says, invent games. Whenever you have a tedious, difficult or long task ahead of you, turning it into a game will always bring you higher levels of energy and motivation. In this video, I can't get too much into the actual games design aspects of these concepts, as it's a larger topic than we have time for in this video. Perhaps it could be a future episode. Instead, for these principles, try looking at existing games and try find games that are most engaging and fun for you. Then, pick out the aspects you find fun in those games and try apply it to tasks you feel need to be more engaging in your life. I can't guarantee that the mechanics from every game will work perfectly, but it will hopefully give you the foundations for you to work towards making said task fun for you. What I'm trying to say is that whether you set fitness goals, or you need help finding fun at your workplace, or learning new subjects at school, whatever you set your goals to be, apply what you find fun in video games and you will see great results. If you enjoy the design aspects around game creation, or you enjoy learning about how games work, set out to create fun and interesting games out of everyday tasks that you perform. It will challenge you to be creative in order to come up with ways to make things fun, whilst boosting your productivity. To reiterate what I was saying at the start, within games there is always a character that is the driving force of the adventure. The protagonist who sometimes finds failure throughout the plot, but always ends up on top. The hero that the player controls. And in life, this hero is you. Before you go, I want you all to work together in the comments section below. I want you to write a task or anything in the comments that you find boring or lack motivation with. If you come up with a way to make it more fun and interesting, put that down there too, either in the same comment or as a reply. Replying to your own comments is welcome, as I can imagine some of you writing a task and then revisiting it in the future to post how you made it more engaging. Also for you creative types out there, if you see someone who's struggling to make the task more engaging, help them out by replying with some suggestions. There's no wrong answer here. Like with having certain tastes in video games, you might find some methods of gamification not for you, and instead use a different method to everyone else. That's fine. Just be creative and find what works for you. Anyway, I'm Matt, and thanks for watching.